great numbers over there, and we love all the support you guys are giving us. Without further ado, let's get right on into it with the Auburn Tigers 2021 recruiting class. Let's go right now. All right, so just a little quick breakdown for the Tigers. Their national rank is 48th. SEC rank is 12th. So far in the recruiting period, they've got 1 transfer, 1 hard commit, and only 11 players who have signed a letter of intent. Now, when you see the 11 players, that is very low, especially when you look at the team. And it is, it's Auburn. They are, one of the most storied schools in college football. So you think to yourself, man, why do they only have 11 players who have signed a letter of intent? Well, Auburn's had a very crazy 2020 season. They fired their head coach, of course. They didn't have the best record. They underperformed a little bit. And they've had a lot of guys who have decommitted from the program to go elsewhere after this, up and down season. So that's why their number is a little bit low. But they still have some more people they can always snatch up before the season starts. But at the moment, they got a little bit of a lower number. I believe it's the second lowest in the SEC behind Kentucky or Vanderbilt. So they are a little bit low in the recruiting ranks. But let's get into the guys that they have gotten so far. All right, first up is Eric Wilson. So Eric Wilson is the transfer player. He is coming out of Harvard. So we know he's got a big brain on him, obviously, if you're able to get into Harvard. But he's obviously smart on the football field as well. So he is an offensive guard. He's 6'4", 280 pounds. And he's going to be helping out the Tigers offensive line with Bo Nix very soon, I think. So hopefully Eric can, he's got a giant brain, of course. I'm sure he's a very smart guy. And that's always a guy you want to have on your team, is someone who's both book smart as well as can recognize a good playbook, can recognize where the defenses are going. And I have all the faith in the world in Eric and how he can protect the Auburn Tigers in this upcoming season. Up next is Tavares Dawson. He's a cornerback at the moment. He's listed as an athlete, but he primarily plays quarterback out of Florida. Lehigh Acres is where he is from. 5'10", 175 pounds. He is their hard commit right now, so he hasn't officially signed, but all signs are indicating that he will sign with the Tigers sooner rather than later. We'll have to see if he does, in fact, put pen to paper, but so far it's looking pretty good for the Tigers, and we'll have to see. He's a 3-star recruit, 376th ranked National League player, 25th in his position, and 61st out of the state of Florida. So we'll have to see. If he does end up going to Auburn, it's going to be very interesting since, look, especially playing cornerback, that is not a easy position to play in the SEC. So we'll have to see if Mr. Dawson does commit to Auburn or goes elsewhere. But either way, I'm going to be looking out to see where he lands in this upcoming season. All right, let's get on to the guys who have signed their letters of intent and who do play for the Tigers. All right, we have a cornerback, another one, with Armani Diamond out of Blunt High School, with 8 Mile, Alabama being where he is located from. Cornerback, 5'11", 171 pounds, 3-star recruit, not ranked on the national level, 116th in his position, and 56th out of the state. So Armani, already a great name. Got the diamond. Hopefully it'll be a diamond in the rough for the Auburn Tigers. So like I just said, with Dawson, we're going to see how Armani can pull for the Auburn Tigers. It's going to be a tough task being with a lot of those stacked SEC receivers. So hopefully Diamond is up to the challenge, and I know he's going to be hoping to help out the Tiger faithful in this year and for many years to come. Next, we have Kamal Hadden. And Kamal is another cornerback. So as you can see so far, Auburn's went very heavy with the defensive end, which it's always good to have a stacked roster on that side of the ball in the SEC. So Kamal is out of Independence Community College. That's where they got him from. 6'2", 285 pounds, 30th ranked national player for the JUCO, 5th in his position, and 9th in the state. So we've seen a little bit more of the program over the past couple of weeks that, teams have been picking up a JUCO player here or there. And as you can see, the Tigers have went there with Kamal Hadden. So, like I said, they went very heavy on the defensive end of the ball so far, as you'll see with the rest of these prospects. And hopefully Kamal is another guy that they can get another lockdown corner to help stop a little bit of the bleeding in the SEC. Up next is Ian Matthews. Ian is a defensive tackle out of Columbus, Georgia, 6'5", 290 pounds. So he's already got the height and weight to him. 3-star recruit, 669th ranked national player, 42nd in his position, and 59th out of the state of Georgia. So already a monster of a man is Ian Matthews. The 6'5", 290, you can't teach height. You can't teach. It's hard to teach that height, man. That 6'5" is very impressive. The 290, he already looks the part. He's already got a very good first step. Being an offensive tackle, that's always a great trait to have. So, hey, we'll have to see if this guy, because, I mean, like I said, he's only ranked as a 3-star recruit, but we've seen a lot of 3-star recruits end up to be absolute stars in college. And if I had to pick one guy who's kind of ranked a little bit lower, I'd put my money on Ian Matthews, man, just based off that height and weight alone. And I've seen a little bit of his footage, and he looks very impressive. And I think that Ian Matthews is going to have a really good career for the Tigers in the near future. All right, up next, we're going to go with Garner Langlo. So Garner is an offensive guard at Trinity Catholic High School out of Ocala, Florida. 6'7", 270 pounds, 3-star recruit, 625th ranked national player, 33rd in his position, and 86th out of the state of Florida. So, yeah, as you can see, Auburn has not messed around. They've put something in the water, and they've gotten some big guys on their team, especially with Garner being 6'7", 270 pounds, absolute monster of a human being. And hopefully he's going to help Bo Nix and a lot of the other quarterbacks he's going to get in the future with the Tigers. So already a big guy, and hopefully he's going to be able to get a few pancakes and protect his quarterback, as the offensive guards are known to do. Up next is Landen King. Landen is a tight end, the first offensive weapon we've seen so far, out of Humble, Texas. 6'5", 220 pounds, 3-star recruit, 588th ranked national player, 27th in his position, and 84th in the state. So 6'5", 220, already a pretty good size for a tight end. He's got a really good leaping ability, and he's got some very steady hands. So especially with a tight end, you gotta be very versatile. Well, yeah, it is important to catch the ball. That's your main objective on any side of the offensive side of the ball. You gotta be able to block as well. You gotta be able to be a pretty good route runner, especially in the SEC. And I have all the faith in the world that Landen can do that, and he can provide a good spark to that Tigers offense. All right, coming up next is Mr. Tobechi Okoli. So he is a defensive end, 6'5", 250, out of Lincoln College Prep, which is out of Kansas City, Missouri. 3-star recruit, 519th ranked national player, 33rd in his position, and 7th out of the state. So, like I said earlier, Auburn's not messing around. They're getting a lot of big guys on their team, and I don't blame them. You need a lot of muscle and you need a lot of mass to compete against these SEC teams. And I have all the, I think that Okoli's going to have a really good career. He looked really good in the footage I've seen of him. And I do think it's going to translate to the next level. Like I said, he is 6'5", 250, so they're probably going to ask him to gain a little bit more weight in terms of muscle mass. But other than that, I think he's pretty much set. The tools are there, and I think if he just gets a little bit more muscle underneath him and on him, I think he's going to be ready to go for the Tigers. All right, next is Hal Presley. He's a wide receiver out of Mansfield Summit High School out of Arlington, Texas. 6'3", 190 pounds. He's the 414th ranked national player in the moment, 67th in his position, and 59th in the state. So, hey, we got a wide receiver finally, and they think they got a good one here with Presley. He's looking really good, very good speed, as you can see in the picture here if you're watching us live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. He's got a defender just biting at the ground right now, hitting a lot of dust, as Presley's going for a touchdown. So hopefully he can rack up some touchdowns for the Auburn Tigers, and we'll see how he can perform throughout his college career. All right, up next is Marquis Robinson. Robinson is a defensive tackle out of Milton High School out of Milton, Florida. 6'3", 300 pounds on the dot. 4-star recruit, our first 4-star of this morning. 330th ranked national player, 22nd in his position, and 52nd out of the state of Florida. So Mr. Robinson, hey, he's got the 300 on him, 3 bills to be exact. So already a big guy. As you can see so far, Auburn has went very heavy into the defensive side of the ball. for this recruiting class, and I don't blame him at all. He is a very talented defensive tackle, and if they need a little bit of help on the defensive side of the ball, I think that Robinson's going to help him out, and he's going to be able to get a couple sacks for them as a DT for them for the near future. So I think Robinson's a really solid pickup for them, and we'll have to see how he can perform. All right, Dematrius Davis is coming up next. So Mr. Davis comes out of North Shore High School in Texas, out of Houston, Texas, 5'10.5", 200 pounds. He's a dual threat quarterback, 4-star recruit, 223rd ranked national player, 8th in his position, and 34th in the state. So Mr. Davis is a very solid player. I've seen some footage of him, and he looks the part. Let me just say that. He looks very good, and I think he's going to be kind of a standout for the Tigers at the offensive position for quarterback. We saw that Bo Nix has had some struggles for the Tigers this past season. We all thought he was going to have somewhat of a breakout year, but that didn't pan out the way I thought it would be, unfortunately. So they got Davis here as potentially the next guy up once Bo Nix moves on to the next level. So we'll have to see, because we'll have to see with the new, like I said, Auburn got a new head coach. They got all these new recruits. We're going to have to see how they shake up their play style, and if we're going to see just how long it takes before we get Dematrius Davis in as the new quarterback. It's going to be very interesting to see. I'm going to be keeping a close eye on him to see what he can do for the Tigers. I think a lot sooner rather than later, honestly. I think he's going to be playing very soon, and I want to see this guy get some reps in game against a lot of these big-name teams, and just kind of put his feet to the fire a little bit. It's always good to put a little pressure on the young guys and see if they crack and see if they have a diamond in the rough type of mentality. And I think Davis is he's gonna translate very well to college, and it's gonna be interesting to see. I'm gonna be looking out for him, no doubt. All right, up next we have Ahmari Harvey, safety out of Florida State University High School, that is, out of Tallahassee, Florida. 5'10.5", 171 pounds, 209th ranked national player, 14th in his position, and 31st in the state. So Harvey is a safety, and he's already got some good looks on him. I've seen a good bit of footage. As you can see here, he's got the Auburn hat rocking already. And, I think that he's going to help out. He's a little bit undersized, but, we see sometimes that you might be a little bit undersized. You might be a little bit, a little bit of a lower end on the weight class, but that doesn't mean that you don't have all the talent in the world to produce at a high level. And I think that's exactly what Mr. Harvey is going to be able to do for the Auburn Tigers. I looked at a little bit of footage of him, and he looks very solid at the safety position, in my opinion. Is he going to get beat? Yeah, of course. Who doesn't get beat in college, especially in the SEC when you're going up against Georgia, Florida, Alabama, so on and so forth. But the real thing is, and I've talked to our guy Bobby Butler about this before, he always says you always can get beat, but it's how you come back the next play. So that's what I'm looking out for Harvey. And I think that if he does end up getting beat a time or two, I do think that he does have that mentality to come back the very next play and to put on a show. And I think he's going to help out the Tigers a lot on the defense and the ball. And we'll have to see how he's going to perform for them in the future. All right, up next is Lee Hunter. Lee is our last guy on the board here. 4-star recruit, defensive tackle out of Blunt High School out of 8 Mile, Alabama. 6'5", 292 at the defensive tackle position. Already looks great. 4-star recruit, 80th ranked national player, 6th in his position, and 5th in the state of Alabama. So, hey, they got another good one here, I think. I like Lee Hunter. He looks really good on film, and I'm ready to see how this guy's going to perform at the next level. This is their big recruit. This is their high-rated recruit, 4-star. They got no 5 stars. So I'm very interested to see how Lee Hunter is going to be performing, and I'm looking forward to see how many sacks he can rack up as a Tiger, because in high school, man, he was dominant. Just looking at some footage, he looked really good. And I know all the Auburn Tiger faithful out there that are watching us live, and any of the Facebook groups, I know they're ready to see this kid on the field performing and getting a few sacks and some fumbles for the Tigers very, very soon. So all in all, like I said, the Auburn Tigers did not get too many recruits. They've only gotten a handful so far. They are expected to sign some more, but at the time of this recording, it's a little bit low. Hey, I mean, we're going to have to see how it's going on, because As you can see, man, they didn't get too many, but I do think that even though they didn't get the most recruits, I think that the few that they've gotten so far, and like I said, they are going to get more, but I think all these guys are going to be able to produce for them. I really like Lee Hunter. He's a very good candidate. He is their big recruit. They're banking a lot on this guy, and I think he's got all the tools in the toolbox to perform. So all in all, I think the Auburn Tigers had a very solid recruiting class so far. They kept it down south like we see with a lot of SEC teams do. They got 4 guys out of Florida, 3 out of Texas. Hey, everything's bigger in Texas. You know how that saying goes. So I think that they had a really good recruiting class, and I'm interested to see how these guys are going to perform for many Saturdays to come. It's going to be a fun show, and I'm ready to see if these guys who I have a lot of faith in, and I think they're going to do a great job. It's going to be to see how they can perform at the next level. Well, hey, if you guys enjoyed watching this show live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch, thank you guys so much for watching. We are live, as always, every Monday, 8 a.m., and hey, we're putting a lot of good work over here on the show. We do a lot of great work. We do a lot of recruiting classes. We got some draft profiles as well we've been doing the past couple of weeks, which have been amazing. We also got great Legends interviews coming up. We just do a lot of great work over here, guys. We appreciate all the love you've been giving us. Don't forget about our podcast as well. You can check us out over at the Believe Podcast Network, which is available on Spotify, which you can look up just by typing in 100 Yards of Football. You can see our logo right there in the middle with the 100 Yards of Football logo with the 50-yard line and the football right on it. You can check out all of our previous audio experiences that we've done over the past couple of months. It's been an amazing journey over there, just getting us out into a different platform. I'm sure to check us out on Apple as well. Be sure to look at us on Spotify, Apple, Stitcher, any place you listen to podcasts, we're on there, and you can check out any of our previous episodes that we've done. Go check out any of our old draft profiles. You can see how we've done, see if those guys have done good in the NFL or not. Be sure to check out our other recruiting videos that we've done. We've done a lot of really good ones, a lot of SEC teams. So, like I said, we just covered Auburn and their recruits. So be sure to check out all the other ones. We just did some Georgia, Alabama. So be sure to check those guys out as well. And hey, for the whole team here at 100 Yards of Football Sports Talk Radio, I've been your host and producer this evening, Logan Landers. I'll be talking to you guys in just a little bit. See ya.